Good evening. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome into the Hayden Coker Show presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. We are live here from Buffalo Wild Wings and Pell City. I apologize for the technical difficulties. We are live. We are better than ever, and I hope you are better than ever as well. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A lot to talk about, and appreciate everybody joining in via the live chat. We've got a lot going on tonight, and for those of you who do not know, we've got Wake Forest, NC State playing right now. Not the biggest game, not the most mainstream game. So I think a lot of people are letting Wake Forest not necessarily fly under the radar because I don't think they'll be a great team in the end. I think they may be a 6-win, 7-win team. But that's a fun team to watch. We have Robbie Ashford, former Oregon, Auburn, South Carolina transfer at the helmet quarterback for Wake Forest. Then you have C.J. Bailey, the quarterback at NC State, who I think he's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal quarterback. So that's going to be a fun matchup. Currently, you have Wake Forest and the TV off to my left or your right. I'm not sure which one. But 14-0 right now. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. You had a kick return for a touchdown for Vandy to start it off, and then for Wake Forest to pick it off, and then you had Wake Forest running it live. We're live. Yo, we got a fan here. We're live, man. So Wake Forest, NC State, they're playing right now. A bunch going on tonight, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And absolutely, rest in peace, Charlie, and the live chat here on YouTube. Yeah, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. What happened yesterday was a tragic occurrence, and it's just not okay. And that can't happen. We can't be divided as a country, and it's just pitiful. Thoughts and prayers to everybody in that situation. But back to some college football here. Don't want to get too off topic, but we do understand. We do recognize what's going on. We do understand that the world is not perfect. It never will be. And right now we are divided. And that is not okay. But we got a lot going on, guys. A lot that happened in the past week. A lot happened last weekend. We had some games take place throughout the week, and then last weekend as well. USF, they beat Florida. They drove down the field in the final drive of the game, and at the last second kicked the field goal to win the game 18-16. Guess what? They're in the top 25. By the way, they've been in the HCS Power 12 for 2 weeks now. Yeah, so 2 weeks now. Hate to say we told you so. No. We didn't think that. No. We did not think that USF would beat Florida. That wasn't on our radar. Nick Lee chimes in the chat. We appreciate you, brother, for chiming in. I did not see that coming. I did not see USF beating Florida. They did. Massive props to it. Oklahoma has another Baker Mayfield. Yeah. So John Mateer, and that's the game that I wanted to dive into next. Michigan and Oklahoma. That game took place last Saturday night. Dub season. A lot of people didn't watch that game. I had the pleasure to watch that game. That was a phenomenal football game. John Mateer, he looked really, really good. He had a few throws where I thought that if he extended those throws by maybe an inch or two or just a few inches, guess what? You're looking at maybe a 31-13 game. I mean, Oklahoma played a really, really stout game defensively. They were extremely good. They were extremely sound. So I expect for that team defensively to get nothing but stronger. David Stone on the defensive line. He's fantastic. He's a newcomer as well. Some other key pieces out there, but David Stone is one of those guys that a lot of people are watching this year on that defensive line and expecting a lot of growth. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are expecting Keldrick Falk to do at Auburn. Now, in a few weeks, we're going to get to see Auburn and Oklahoma clash in Norman, Oklahoma, in Gaylord Family Stadium. So that's going to be a really fun matchup to watch here in a few weeks. But in my personal opinion, I can't sit here and say that I think that Auburn will win that game just quite yet. Get a little sidetracked, back to the real deal. So when it comes to Oklahoma, and so you have John Mateer, David Stone as well. You have guys like Jaden Ott, who I think could make a difference. Ott didn't necessarily get the playing time that I thought he would get over the last few weeks. Now, I certainly think that Jay Knott will continue to get carries as we go throughout the next few games. It's all about right now. It's all about getting healthy. He's out the second game of the year, the first game of the year. He comes back, then he comes in for a few snaps, gets like 4 carries for I think 16 total yards. So nothing major. He will get into it, and over the next few years, over the next few games, I think he can make an impact. All right. So now we've got Ole Miss. What's up, bud?
Yeah, Hill City quarterback right here.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Heard you doing sports broadcasting.
Yeah, what's up? And God, it's hold on, I forget. I do forget your name. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Brody Gossett.
Brody Gossett. So yeah, Brody Gossett here, and y'all are taking on who tomorrow night?
Mountain Brook Spartans.
So y'all are taking on the Mountain Brook Spartans tomorrow night. So this is Brody Gossett, quarterback of Hill City High School football, and man, dude, it's actually phenomenal to see you, man. I'm glad to see you. But so a few weeks ago, this is going to turn into an interview now. You okay with that?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Yeah, so kind of come in here. So a few weeks ago, we got extremely sidetracked just now, but this is perfectly fine. So a few weeks ago, you took on Rush Probst and Coosa Christian. Walk us through the mindset going through that game, because obviously Rush Probst had been there before. He had been at Pell City before, and I want to know what the mindset was, because obviously that wasn't something that was expected over the last few weeks. Nobody expected for Rush Probst to be the head coach. So kind of walk us through that and how everything went down.
All right, so I was in 9th grade when he was at Pell City, so I was only a freshman then to start QB instead of me. And I had opportunities to be a starter, but he never put me in the game, so it really meant a lot for me to go into this game. I went in there, first drive, I threw a touchdown, about 20 yards. And then, I also threw 3 picks, but that ain't the best part of it.
Hey, game's the game, man, right? Game's the game.
About fourth quarter, it was about 14 to 26, I believe, 27. And about 2 minutes left. And we went out there and executed. We scored 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes. We scored the first one. I threw about a 30-yard post ball to DJ Wade. And then that sealed it to 27-21. And then after that, we got an onside kick from our kicker, Dylan Gardner. It was Tristan Anderson that recovered the kick. And then we went down there and scored on a little bit of a trick play to Mason Davis. And then we sealed the game with a field goal by Dylan Gardner. That's how you execute out there. Never stop. Always have faith.
There you go. That's something that's incredibly hard to understand. It's like you always got to have faith, because you can get down 20, you can get down 14, 20, 27, 28, and you just got to have the mindset to do it. So over the last few years, obviously you've had that chip on your shoulder. 9th grade, you weren't a starter, and no shade to anybody else who was a starter ahead of you at all. But what was that like going into this year? You've had a chip on your shoulder coming into the last few years, and I believe you were the starter last year, correct? Yes, you were the starter last year as well. So now it's a little bit different. Now you're the starting quarterback, and now you have a chance to. And by the way, long call last year, y'all should have won the playoff. That was you can say referees all you want to. That was one of the games where I saw the replay. Runner wasn't down. They called. I'll give that to y'all. So y'all making the playoffs last year. It first round exit is what it is. Now it's kind of a tip on your shoulder type deal. What do you expect going into the rest of the year?
Same look. We're trying to get to the playoffs once again. So, all we're trying to do is, I believe, after the last game, which is play Chalkpool, they're a top team in the state. I think they can go very deep in the playoffs, but we have the same mindset. We believe we can go 9-1. It's 1-0 every week. So we have to go every week going 1-0 so we can win every game. I think we'll be able to go deep in the playoffs, have this third round even farther. Sometimes we just have mistakes we have to handle there in games. As a starting quarterback, you have to be like the captain of the team. You got to make sure everybody's fine. Everything's really your fault, but when you don't make those mistakes, everything goes smoothly and everybody can just go straight along. We have a good mindset this year, so I think we'll be good.
That's awesome, Brody. I appreciate you, man. This is quarterback of the Pell City High School Panthers, Brody Gossett. I appreciate you, man. We'll see you around, all right?
I appreciate it, man.
Have a good one. The Hayden Coker Show. Hayden Coker on Facebook, HCS Media on YouTube. Live. Every Thursday from 7 o'clock. Yes, sir. All right, so we're a turn of events, but now we're all back on course. I hope everybody enjoyed that. But, yeah, so we'll try our best to get back on track here. You have the NFL on tonight. You have the Washington Commanders and Green Bay Packers. But like I mentioned, we were talking about Oklahoma a little bit. Jaden Knott's going to come in. He's going to kind of nurse that injury over the next few games, slowly get back into rhythm. And if you're Auburn, I think you've got to be a little nervous because Jaden Knott at 100%, you've seen what he can do over the last few years at Auburn or at California. He played him the last 2 years. So, obviously, he wasn't the guy who won the game for you last year. Last year, California won the game because of a guy named Fernando Mendoza, and he's in Indiana right now playing quarterback. So, regardless, man, Jaden Ott, I think he's a phenomenal athlete. Now, coming into Auburn in a few weeks. Now, this week, got to get past Temple, big whoop-de-doo, and I believe that's in Philadelphia. So, that tough team right there. But the main thing is just getting past this game, getting to Auburn, and continue to go on that win streak. Because Oklahoma has what it takes to make the college football playoff. I'm going to go ahead and say that, and I think everybody knows that. They just got to – everybody knows that. I do believe anyways. You think anyways. But you just got to show it. They just got to show it on the field. But Tier made a few mistakes last game. He also made a bunch of really good plays. So expect for Oklahoma to be a really good team over the next few years. As I believe they have the 9/11 tribute right now prior to the Washington Commanders and Green Bay Packers football game. Now, we talked a little bit about Oklahoma. We had Brody Gossett come in, quarterback from the Pell City Panthers. And now it's time to talk a little bit more about what happened last week, and then we're going to dive into what happened this week. You had Iowa State. Phenomenal game. Iowa State wins by 3. I picked for Iowa to cover that game. They covered the 3.5-point spread, still lost. So, lost by 3. That was a fun game to pick. That was a fun game to watch. Hard battle defensive game. As we shout out Buffalo Wild Wings here in Pell City, the phenomenal Sweet Tea had some phenomenal wings and fries earlier as well. So, a bunch going on tonight, man. But this wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. You got Center Glass Bell, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Pell City. And you cannot forget about Steel 174 in Steel, Alabama. If you're gonna are you gonna build your dream home? Well, all you need is a bunch of wood, some nails, and 47 strips to the hardware store. We don't say Home Depot because we only do paid promotions around here. All right, or you can just call Steel 174. So Daniel, Bobby, and Dawson are the guys you need to call. They make the process easy every single time. You can't build the house. You too can't build the house. It won't do it for you, but you can call Dawson, Bobby, and Daniel at Steel 174, and those guys are going to get it done for you. Steel 174, they can get it done. Still strong, still reliable, Steel 174. Visit Steel 174 on Facebook. Steel 174 on Facebook. Now, back to the action. You had a bunch of action last week. You had some SEC play. And by the way, Sawyer Robertson, everybody was ruling out Auburn and saying, ruling out Baylor, saying, oh man, they just lost to Auburn. Auburn just played Baylor. Well, Sawyer Robertson was being playing like that. He threw the ball 50 times. That's that offense, man. That's that offense. You complete you look at what happened this past weekend. They played SMU. They were down by 14 late in that game in the fourth quarter. Well, Sawyer Robertson rallied the troops. You had Josh Cameron. Josh Cameron had over 100 yards. So 100 yards receiving. And they did really well, man. They had a really nice game. Bryson Washington had 31 attempts for 105 yards or 115 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. And, man, I just really think that some of these guys are flying under the radar. Ashton Hawkins had over 100 yards as well. No touchdowns. Josh Cameron had 2 touchdowns. Okay? This Baylor team is legit, and I think people really need to, start opening their eyes. SMU is a good football team. Now, defensively, obviously, you saw it happen, okay? Baylor's really good offensively. Auburn held that Baylor team to 24 points. And I get it's SMU. SMU's in the SEC. Nobody respects them because they're in the ACC. You need to respect them, okay? You need to respect Baylor. Baylor's a good Big 12 team. Baylor will compete for the Big 12 championship game. And I think people really, really, really need to start paying attention to this team because there's a really good chance that team wins out, okay? Now, I don't think they will. I think they slip up along the way, probably lose 2 or 3 games. But you have to understand that is an extremely good football team, and they will prove people wrong late in the year. Vandy beat Virginia Tech last week. Virginia Tech falls to 0-2. Vanderbilt travels to South Carolina this week, and that's going to be a fun one. So at South Carolina at night, it's going to be an extremely tough game. That's going to be one of the games that you have to keep your eyes on. Virginia Tech, obviously a hostile environment. Vandy went in there and they took care of them, okay? They were down early. They come back. They didn't allow Virginia Tech to score in the second half. Phenomenal defensive performance in the second half by Vandy itself. So this week, you're going to South Carolina. Yes, a little bit more of a hostile territory, but guess what? I think that this Vandy team has what it takes to beat the South Carolina team that they're playing. Now, do they do that? We'll get to that a little bit later on. Now I want to jump into the HCS Power 12 of the week. So the HCS Power 12, man, this is a good one. I had fun making this one. USF coming in at number 12. USF is the best group of 5 team right now. That's why they're coming in at that number 12 position in the HCS Power 12. Oklahoma makes a leap from outside the Power 12. They come in. We would have had them projected last week or ranked last week at probably 14 or 15. Now they make that jump. I think Michigan is still right there, somewhere around that area. But Oklahoma, man, they've just done a fantastic job. They played fantastic last week on defense. They were extremely sound. The front 7 was just absolutely suffocating. The defensive backs absolutely suffocating, man. And Bryce Underwood, he just didn't have a lot of time. He underthrew some receivers. He overthrew some receivers. He made some key mistakes. He's still one of the best freshman quarterbacks in the country, though. I'd put him up there with the quarterback out of California. I've been watching him all year. He's been absolutely fantastic, and I'm not going to butcher his name right now because I just don't feel like it. But I really love that. I really love the quarterback out there for California. Jared is his first name, but I've watched him a little bit this year. He's phenomenal. And then Bryce Underwood, he's going to be good in the future. He was just given absolute hell by that Oklahoma defense. And I'm not gonna say that Michigan team is going anywhere per se, but just know that Oklahoma team is extremely stout. South Carolina at number 10. South Carolina comes in at number 10 this week in our power rankings in the HCS Power 12. So I certainly think that this is one of the teams that's kind of up in the air right now. I have South Carolina right now at number 10 because I think they still are there. I think they had a rough start. They got a slow start, but they'll get there. I'm not saying this team is done for it. That's not what I'm saying at all. I don't think they're done for it at all. What I am saying is that this South Carolina team has a ways to go. I think they'll figure things out. It's a new wide receiver room. It's a new running back room. Lenore Sellers is the guy coming back at the quarterback position. Nick Carver is the only returning wide receiver. Excuse me, I had a little hiccup there. But Nick Carver is the only returning wide receiver in that wide receiver room. That's starting anyways. So it's times like these and it's situations like this where you have to put it into perspective. What exactly is going to happen with this team? You've got some new guys coming in, okay? Well, right now, South Carolina's right there, I think, at number 10. They've just got a little bit of room to grow. Illinois coming in at number 9. So Illinois with a big win last week against Duke. Now, this game is a lot closer than the score says. Okay, so the score indicated 45-19 by way of the Fighting Illini. Guess what? Illinois did win that game. They won it up front. They won it just about everywhere, okay? Darian Mensah, quarterback for Duke, he was out there. He was able to go out there and do some tremendous things when it comes to the offensive side of the football. He was able to sling it around a little bit. Threw an interception. It honestly wasn't a poorly placed ball. The defender made an impressive read on it. He was sitting right in his zone. Had to go out of his way a little bit to make the play, but I don't think that it was a badly placed ball there by Darian Mensah. Mensah, obviously, we know about him coming over from Tulane. He paid a lot of money by Duke to come over and play football. He's going to be a really good quarterback over the next few years. So if you haven't heard of Darian Mensah, you need to pay attention to him. But Illinois, man, defensively up front, they're extremely stout, man. It's one of the best defenses in the country. They've got a great defensive staff. Brett Bielema is a great defensive-minded head coach, and I think that Illinois is going to be one of those teams that people are talking about whenever it comes to a college football playoff here in a few months. Now, I'm not saying they make a playoff. If you saw my preseason predictions, you didn't see them in there. That's for a reason. So it'll all come together for Illinois, and it's just right now, it's just about time and taking it week by week. Coming in at number 8, we have Notre Dame. Notre Dame kind of reminds me of Illinois to an extent. Illinois is one of those teams that is really stout defensively. Notre Dame is really, really stout defensively. Now, I think that Notre Dame is a lot better than Illinois on the offensive side of the football. C.J. Carr doesn't have as much experience, but when it comes to the running back room, the wide receiver room, the offensive line, I would say that Notre Dame is better than Illinois in those aspects of the game. Now, defensively, they're both up there, like I said. But Notre Dame, just a smidge ahead. That's why I have them at number 8. And I have a lot of faith in C.J. Carr and company to get the job done, especially if they give Jeremiah Love the ball more than 15 times a game. Now, 7, we have the Texas Longhorns. The Texas Longhorns are a phenomenal team. I think that there's a lot of question marks around Arch Manning right now. Week 1, he played pretty poorly. He had a bunch of underthrown balls. He was extremely off target, looked very uncomfortable. Right now, it's all about, for Arch Manning, right now it's all about being comfortable in that Texas offense. It's his first year starting. He started a few games last year due to Quinn Ewers being injured. Now it's his time. And I think that with a few games under his belt, he will be fine. Like I said, it's just going to take a little time, okay? Texas will be fine. Defensively, they're extremely solid. Colin Simmons is one of my favorite players to watch this year on the defensive side of the football, as well as Sonny Styles, a linebacker for Ohio State. So this is going to be an intriguing team to watch over the next few years, or excuse me, over the next few months, as long as the defense stays healthy, okay? Now, Arch has got to keep it under control. He does. He's got to find himself. He's got to find his rhythm. But I think Texas is going to be fine. Number 6 is Miami. Miami, offensively, I think that they've got it down pat, man. I'm really high on this Miami team. I think that defensively they're stout. They've done a lot of great things defensively. I think that Mario Cristobal, over the last few years, he's put together a really good staff. Now, if you were to ask me 2 years ago, I wouldn't think that Miami would be in the same situation they are now. Heck, Carson Beck is their quarterback. I just didn't expect that at all. I didn't expect that going into the offseason last year. Instead of taking a sip of the Buffalo Wild Wings with tea. Massive shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings here in Pell City, and massive thank you to those guys for all that they do. All right, so now a little something different now. So Miami, great football team. They're at 6 right now. The running game is really good. The wide receivers, not necessarily too down from last year. Obviously, you lose. Forget his name. He's with the Titans now. You lose him. I believe he's an undrafted. I believe he's a free agent. I want to say he's a free agent, or maybe got picked up in the 7th round. They're drafted in the 7th round. Regardless, so I think they're a really good team. I think they'll be stout over the next few weeks. Right now, they have an extremely massive test, though, this weekend when it comes to South Florida. That is a huge game. Number 5, we have Georgia. Okay, so Georgia, I think that Georgia has some work to do, man. I have them at number 5 because I think that's truly where they are right now. But Georgia has some work to do. I think that Gunnar Stockton's got to find himself a little bit. Now, he's going to really be tested this weekend. Tennessee's defense is extremely stout, and I'll pick that game a little later on. But Tennessee's defense is going to test Gunnar Stockton this weekend. And this is where we will find out a lot about them as well. So next week, Georgia could be 10, 9, 8, or they could be 3 or 4. I don't know yet. And I think that Georgia is perfectly ranked right now at the number 5 position. But there's still a lot of room to grow for this Bulldog team. Number 4, Penn State. I think that Penn State's got some growing pains right now. I think they're trying to fit in, and I've said it over the last 2 years that Drew Aller, man, everybody makes Drew Aller out to be, man, this Heisman contender, this first overall draft pick that can go out and sling the ball all over the field. He can put it wherever he wants to. I have never seen Drew Aller as that type of quarterback. I think that Drew Aller is a good person. I think he's a great guy. I have never seen him as that type of quarterback. And I've never understood the hype. I've never understood why he gets the hype. I just don't know. He's had some really good games, but I think that it goes to show that in every single ranked opponent that they play, it's just a poor performance. Maybe not poor performance, but it doesn't live up to the hype that people say that he's going to do. So, for instance, you have last year, Notre Dame. It just wasn't a good game at all, man. You completed the only pass that you completed, and it wasn't even to a wide receiver. So you didn't even complete a pass to a wide receiver last year in the game against Notre Dame. It was to Tyler Warren, the tight end, which is the closest thing to a wide receiver, unless you want to go running back. So running backs and tight ends were the only receivers for Penn State last year. And to me, and oh my gosh, what a catch that was just made by, oh my gosh. That's insane. Insane throw by Jordan Love that I just witnessed in the TV in front of me here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Pell City. But penalty flag going to be on Green Bay Packers, so it's not going to count. But anyways, man, I just don't see the hype around Drew Aller, man. And I really hope he proves me wrong because I like Aller. I like the guy. He's got the tools to do it. It's just year after year after year, I continue to see more and more why he's just not that guy that can take Penn State. Hold on now. He's not the guy that can win the Heisman Trophy or win the national championship for Penn State. because it always comes down to play calling. I'm not blaming Drew Aller's growth stunt on play calling. What I am blaming it on is just I don't really know what I'm blaming on. I just cannot see that the talent's not or the talent's there. It's just not making it over the hump year after year. Yeah, Jen Wilson commenting on it. Hey, Hayden, I appreciate you for joining, Miss Wilson. Appreciate you, Justin Lindsay, Jamarius Borden, all for joining in and tuning in on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. I just don't see it. Oregon, man. Oregon's extremely impressive. DeCorian Moore, one of the best freshman wide receivers in the country, if not the best freshman wide receiver in the country. Especially, he's the best wide receiver in the Big Ten. Freshman wide receiver in the Big Ten, excuse me. But one of the best freshman wide receivers in the country. Oregon's defense, extremely solid, man. Dante Moore, oh my gosh. The arm talent from Dante Moore is absolutely insane, man. And I can't wait to see what Dante Moore does over the next few weeks. He's gonna be tested when teams like Indiana come to town. D'Angelo Pons, one of the best corners in college football for Indiana. He could make a lot of noise for that team. And I just really think that is going to be one of those games that really shows how Dante Moore handles pressure. Okay, so that'll be a fun game. But for right now, that Oregon team is sitting at 2. Phenomenal offense. Defense is extremely stout. Number 2, LSU, the Louisiana State University Tigers. The Bayou Bengals coming in number 2. Garrett Nussmeier, man, he's absolutely absurd. Okay, rough game against Louisiana Tech. I'm not falling for it. I'm not moving them down any. I'm not sliding them for that. That's just one of those games. To me, that's just one of those games that is it's just not fun to watch. I don't know, for whatever reason, LSU was not entirely locked in. It looked like they didn't want to be there. That's fine. I've got LSU number 2. Nobody wants to play Louisiana Tech on the night, and nobody's gonna say, hey, everybody tune into the game against with Louisiana Tech and LSU. It's just not a thing. So Ohio State, that number 1 team in the HCS Power 12. Ohio State's a team that I really enjoy watching. Defensively, man, I think they could be really good this year. They could be really good offensively and well-rounded as a whole as well. But for me, and my pen just broke. That is absolutely insane. But for me, the main thing for Ohio State is just getting their feet under them with Julian Sayin at the helm at quarterback. I think that Julian Sayin, he has some growing to do. I think he'll figure it out. But over the next few weeks, I think you'll really start to see that. And he'll be tested in games like Penn State this year. So I'm excited to see the growth, man. It'll be fun to watch, fun to see. And Ohio State defensively, though, is where I think a lot of people are going to take this team and place them up top because that defense is just absolutely top tier. Okay? So Sonny Styles, one of the best linebackers in America right now. Sonny Styles, man. Sammy Brown at Clemson, dude. Whit Weeks out of LSU. You got a bunch of high-caliber linebackers that have been playing some really high-caliber football over the last few weeks of the season, the first few weeks of the season might be. And I'm just excited to see over the next few weeks how these guys do. Look at Sonny Styles. The guy's an absolute headhunter. I mean, he's like a dead gum piss missile coming through the A gap, B gap, C gap, and the guy can cover too. So I think that Sonny Styles is going to be one of those guys that we look at in the college football playoff that is going to make an extremely massive difference for this Ohio State football team. So that is the HCS Power 12, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate it because that's been a massive part of the show this year. Posted every week, every Tuesday night on my Facebook Live or on my Facebook, on my Instagram, so you can check that out as well. But now I want to get down to the business because we've got some games coming up this week. We've got some Auburn matchups over the next few weeks. We've got Georgia's schedule that we're going to break down. We're going to go ahead and jump into that right now. So Georgia's schedule right now, man, this is an absolute feast. So let's go ahead and look at Georgia's schedule. So look at Georgia's schedule right now. Tennessee this weekend on the road in Neyland Stadium. That's going to be a massive game. This is going to be one of those turning points for either team, okay? Georgia wins this game. Look, man, it's still same old Georgia, but Georgia's got that confidence again. Georgia has that aura around them that, hey, man, this is still the same old Georgia that you've seen over the last few years. Just because we lose guys on offense, just because we lose guys on defense, that does not mean that Georgia's going to go anywhere. I don't think Georgia's gone anywhere at all. I think that Georgia has taken a step back from last year. That doesn't mean they've gone away. Tennessee will keep this game close, and I'm extremely excited for this one because up front, man, Tennessee is going to have their hands full. First off, they're going to have their hands full. Tennessee will. But if they can manage, hold on now, if Tennessee can manage, for one, to stop the run, force Georgia to throw the ball, it's this Neyland Stadium. It's going to be loud. Fans are going to be juiced, pumping energy into Neyland Stadium. Minute after minute into that game as time ticks down. The minute that Tennessee scores in that game is the minute that Neyland Stadium is going to go crazy. Now, I know they're going to go crazy at the start of the game, and on that first series of the game, whoever has the ball, whether that's Georgia or Tennessee, you get what I'm saying. But when Tennessee scores, it's not an if at this point, it's a win. When Tennessee scores, man, look for that crowd to play an incredible factor. And I think it's going to rattle Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton may rattle a little bit. And that's when I think that Tennessee's defense is going to harp on Stockton and harp on that Georgia offense, because then you've got to turn to the run game. You've got to open that up a little bit. If Georgia can throw the ball, fantastic. But Tennessee's defense is going to be extremely rough and rigged on them at first. So I think that game is going to be one of the more high caliber games to watch over the weekend. Look out for Tennessee, my friend. Tennessee might just win this game, and they're going to keep it close. I've got Tennessee covering that game, but I think that Georgia wins ultimately. But buddy, actually no. Look at Joey Aguilar. I think that Georgia wins the game. I think they keep it close. Tennessee will cover. Joey Aguilar, if he settles down and keeps the ball on their side of the field, and when I say that, I mean if he keeps Tennessee with the ball offensively, then it's a whole different game. Then Tennessee wins the game. But right now, I think that Georgia is going to be too stout, going to be too strong, too physical. And I think that Georgia ultimately wins that game. You have Clemson going to Georgia Tech. Clemson currently a 3-point favorite in this game. They've got to go to Atlanta, though. So just about a 2-3 hour trip for Clemson going into Atlanta to face the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. This is going to be a really fun matchup, though. This will be a really fun matchup. We'll get back to that one here in a second. Georgia then goes to Alabama. Then they have Kentucky. Then they have Auburn at Jordan Stadium, okay? Then you have Ole Miss, Florida, Mississippi State, who looks like they've changed a little bit. Texas, Charlotte, then Georgia Tech at the end of the year. This is not an easy schedule at all. This is not an easy schedule at all for this Georgia Tech football team. I think that Georgia Tech is extremely good. They're physical. I think that Georgia's extremely physical. They win a few games this year. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to work through technical difficulties here. But here we go. Here we are. We're back and we're live. I apologize. So got a little sidetracked. Sorry about that. Georgia's got Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, Auburn, Ole Miss, Florida, Mississippi State, Texas, Charlotte, and then Georgia Tech to end the year. This is going to be a tough schedule for this Georgia Bulldog football team. So obviously, I had Georgia losing 2 games before the end of the year at the beginning of the season. So now it's time for them to prove me wrong. Let's look at Auburn's schedule real quick over the next few weeks. This week, you've got South Alabama. Take care of the Sun Belt opponent, and then you enter the meat of your schedule. You've got Oklahoma, A&M, both on the road. The Georgia Bulldogs, you've got Missouri, you've got Arkansas, you've got Kentucky. Then you go on the road again to Vandy. You've got Mercer, you've got Alabama. Arkansas, going to be a sneaky game because they're looking like they are trending in the right direction. And I get that it's still a Sam Pittman-led football team. I wouldn't be sleeping on those Hogs this year, guys. I think that the Hogs are on the right trajectory. Watch out because they might just make some noise this weekend. This is an Auburn football team that's got a rough few weeks ahead, but do not get me wrong, man. This is a new Auburn football team. Offensively, I think they're improved a lot. Defensively, on the front 7, they're improved. The secondary, I think they took a step back, but I think they'll get it figured out because they've got some good guys coming back. They had a transfer coming in Strader, so I think they'll be fine there. But now, guys, I want to shift my attention to some of the games that are occurring this week. It's the Hayden Coker Show brought to you by Senator Lance Bell. We appreciate everything Senator Lance Bell does for us here at the Hayden Coker Show. We are live here for Buffalo Wild Wings every Thursday at 7 o'clock here in Pell City at the Buffalo Wild Wings. And, man, a bunch of good games this weekend, first off. Arkansas and Ole Miss, one of the main games that I'm going to be watching this Saturday. Arkansas gets the upset on this Ole Miss Rebels football team. It's not going to be Lynch, so I'm just going to be calling the Hogs Woo Pig Suey on Saturday night as Arkansas is going to go into Vaught Hemingway Stadium and knock off the Ole Miss Rebels. So Arkansas will win that game. And then this starts a new trajectory for this Sam Pittman-led football team. Talon Green is going to have a whole new label to him after this game. It's not going to be, oh well, he's just some college quarterback that plays for Arkansas. Okay, this is going to be Heisman contender Talon Green after Arkansas beats Ole Miss this weekend. Talon Green has a lot of potential, and I think he's got it. I think he's headed in the right direction. Okay, Arkansas wins that game this weekend, and a lot of people are going to be buzzing when it comes to that game. Now, Arkansas's main rival, Missouri. I think they're another team to look out for later in the year. But look at what Missouri did last week. Missouri, they knocked off Kansas, and then they're going to come into this week that obviously head's on fire, man. Hair's on fire. Bo Pribula played out of his mind last week. Pribula had an absolutely insane game. He slung the ball around for 300 yards and more than a couple touchdowns against a really stingy Kansas Jayhawk defense. Now, Lance Leipold, I love Lance Leipold as the head coach. Missouri, they got the better of Kansas in that game, though. I think that Eli Drinkwitz and company is one of those teams that can make a lot of noise this year in the SEC. They can also upset some guys. So watch out for that team as well, because a lot of people didn't expect them to win in that game against Kansas. Switching gears now, Pitt at West Virginia. You have the backyard brawl. This is in West Virginia, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This year it's not going to go the Mountaineers' way. Let's just say the Rich Rod era is not off to a very hot start for West Virginia. It's not. They lost to Ohio last week, 17-10. Not Ohio State, Ohio University. So I hate it for them because I love Rich Rod and I like the West Virginia Mountaineers. It's Pat McAfee's alma mater. Well, he didn't graduate from there, I don't think, but he played football there. But regardless, so Tucker Kraft just had an insane reception for the Green Bay Packers. But man, I really think that Pitt's going to win this game. They're favored by currently 7.5. So I like Pitt to win that game. I think they win it outright. USF at Miami. Miami currently a 17.5-point favorite. That's going to be an extremely fun game to watch as we have Jared Smith. Coming into the live chat here. Appreciate you, my man. Here we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Let's take a minute and digress and talk about this for a second, okay? So Miami offense is really, really stout, okay? Or really, really solid. Defense, extremely stout. Mario Cristobal's put together a nice staff over the last few years. It brings in Carson Beck in the offseason. NIL money, we all know how that goes now. But USF and Coach Alec Golesh, man. If you're not familiar with USF, if you're not familiar with Alec Golesh, if you're not familiar with the quarterback Byron Brown, you need to get familiar with him because Byron Brown, one of the better quarterbacks in college football right now, one of the best quarterbacks in the group of five. You got him and Retzloff at Tulane right now. Both of those guys are extremely, extremely phenomenal athletes. So, man, I have a lot of faith, man. I have a lot of faith in Byron Brown. This USF team is really, really good defensively. They've got some heat-seeking missiles on defense. Offensively, though, is where they can really take it to the next level. Look for USF to make a few solid plays to keep this game close. I think it'll be within the 17-point range. I think that USF will cover. But, buddy, I'm going to have to go with the Miami Hurricanes here. It will not dock. I do not think, anyways. I don't think it'll dock USF from that 12th spot in the HCS Power 12. Those of you who know it, who understand what it means, they're not going to go anywhere. They're still, in my opinion, going to be the best G5 team until somebody else, like Tulane maybe, proves me wrong. So, will we see? I'm sure, but it all comes in due time. Now we have Texas A&M at Notre Dame. This is going to be one of those games, and I'll be watching it. I'll be dialed in for it. Notre Dame, extremely stout defensively, man. Extremely stout. I'm trying to think of a world where Notre Dame loses this game. I just cannot see A&M going into South Bend and winning this game. I just don't see it, man. I think that A&M they're not necessarily too new. I think that Marcel Reed is not necessarily too inexperienced, but I think he's going to make a few key mistakes in this football game that let Notre Dame get the upper hand. And I think that Notre Dame wins this football game. Notre Dame currently favored by 6.5. I think they covered that. I think they probably win by 7 or 10 points. I'll take Notre Dame. I'll take them by 7. I'll give you a definite answer. I'll go Notre Dame by 7 points. Here we go, guys. It is currently 7:40 here in Pell City, Alabama, at the Pell City Buffalo Wild Wings, live every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. The Hayden Coker Show presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. And excuse me, got a little gas tonight. But yeah, man, it's been a phenomenal week. A ton of lead up. Now Wake Forest leads NC State 21-14 with 10 minutes left here in the second quarter. So a lot of build up for some of these games occurring this weekend. Georgia, Tennessee specifically, and that's going to be one of the games that I'm more dialed in on. Florida at LSU, that's going to be a fun one. LSU currently favored by 7 in that game. Now I talked about Ole Miss and Arkansas. Arkansas wins that game. I told you Taylor all about Taylor Green, the Boise State transfer from a few years ago. That guy's going to be the guy in Arkansas. Okay, so get to know the name. Everybody get to know him because Arkansas is going to win this weekend in Midway Stadium. Florida's going to be, or Florida, I think they lose to LSU. LSU a little too good defensively, man. From what I saw last week against Florida, I like this Billy Napier-led Florida team. I like Billy Napier, but I don't think they can get it done in Death Valley. I'll go with Nussmeier and the crew. Give me the Bayou Bengals in that one. Vandy at South Carolina. South Carolina is going to be at home in this one. It's going to be a Saturday night game, 3.5-point spread. South Carolina is currently favored. Vandy. Going into South Carolina, this is dangerous territory for the Gamecocks. The Gamecocks have had a rough start to the year, and they're still 2-0, okay? If you have a rough start to the year and you're still 2-0, buddy, you're doing something right. And I think Beamer Ball gets on track this weekend, but they aren't going to go down without a fight, or Vandy's not going to go down without a fight. I think that Diego Pavia, he's going to be forced to make some plays with his feet. I think he's going to be forced out of the pocket, and I think he's probably going to turn the ball over a time or two. But Diego Pavia and Vandy make this football game, guys. South Carolina wins. South Carolina wins by a touchdown or two. But give me South Carolina. Vandy will keep it close. But give me the South Carolina Gamecocks. All right. So now, a little bit more of a gear shift. Okay. So I want to talk about something that happened earlier on in the show. So Brody Gossett, quarterback for Pell City. Fantastic guy, fantastic quarterback for the Panthers. He came on here, kind of unexpected, but it happened. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you enjoy some of that, if you would like more of that, just let me know. We can make that happen, guys. It all comes down to really. I don't want to get involved with coaches, high school coaches, but at the end of the day, if that's something that y'all want to see, I will go out there and I will do that. Jared Smith chimes in. LSU wins by 10. Ole Miss wins by 13.5. I like the prediction. I like the spread there by Jared Smith. He also says Notre Dame by at least 7. Miami in the points. Says West Virginia's going to win a close one. And sorry, I was busy. You don't got to worry about it. I appreciate you joining and tuning in. Guys, this has been an absolutely phenomenal time. And something I want to show you, guys. Now, comments from now on, if you would like, I can have those take the stage. I want your guys' input, okay? I want your guys' input as much as I can. And this is a show that is for the people. We saw what happened over the last few days when it comes to politics, and it's not necessarily politics at this point. It's just straight up division, and I hate it more than anybody. But that's not okay. Here, I want to come to you. I want to be able to distract your minds for a few hours, for 40, 45 minutes or so. But right now, this is college football, okay? We talked about upsets, Arkansas over Ole Miss. We talked about those guys. You know who else we talked about upsetting this weekend? We talked about, well, I say upsetting this weekend. We talked about Tennessee keeping it really close against Georgia. Georgia's one of those teams that they're going to win the game. And they're going to have some tough. It's going to be tough sledding a few games for them this year. But I think they win that game. We talked about a few games, anyways, that I think could be close. Georgia Tech gets Clemson. Okay, they get Clemson at home in Atlanta. That's going to be one of the more talked about games over the course of the night. And man, I'm excited about it. As I see some of my guys here from the Pell City Chick-fil-A that I work at. I hope y'all are doing well, guys. But no, man, extremely happy and excited to bring this to you guys each and every Thursday night. Whether it's 20 people or 2 people watching, I get extremely excited. I get extremely pumped because not only am I bringing you guys content, maybe, just maybe, I bring you guys a safe haven away from everything that's going on in the world, whether it's politics, whether it's financial matters, whatever it is. And, maybe you can ignore that. Maybe I can distract you from that for a little bit. So that's what it's all about, man. And Still 174 from Still Alabama helped us out a lot in that category. If you're looking to build a dream home, you certainly don't want to be taking 47 trips to the hardware store, stopping by the convenience store to get gas on the way. It's just not something you want to do, man. Daniel, Dawson, and Bobby, they have what it takes to get the job done in a safe and enjoyable environment. You can give Steel 174 a call. That's all you got to do. Go to Steel 174's Facebook page, man. They get it done. They get it done fast. They get it done easy. Still reliable, still fast, Steel 174. That's still strong, still reliable, Steel 174. Daniel Welch, Dawson Welch, Bobby Welch, the guys get the job done. Now, we talked about it. We've been over it. We've been over a little bit of college football already. And now I want to talk about the NFL just for a smidge second, and we'll kind of retract and digress a little bit. If you're a fan, awesome, man. I think that the NFL is extremely competitive. You got the Commanders and the Commanders and the Packers taking place right now. Lucas Van Ness is a dog defensively, man. A few years out drafted of Iowa, and he was phenomenal. And he's been phenomenal for a few years. And then going back to college, Wake Forest and NC State, man, a bunch of good games on right now. And in the atmosphere that is Buffalo Wild Wings, if you want to get out, if you want to watch sports for a little bit, guys, there's not going to be politics on, okay? There's not going to be SpongeBob on. There's not going to be Naked and Afraid on, man. It is straight college, NFL, all sports, all athletics on. So if you want a safe haven, if you want a place to get out and go visit the Buffalo Wild Wings in Pell City, Alabama, they've got you covered. John Wayne Brewer comments in and says, "Roll Tide." Jared Smith, this is not a place for politics. Absolutely. So, man, it's been great, man. And for those of you who did not catch the HCS Tower 12, I've got it up right here. You can catch that. And so a lot of good things coming from the HCS Tower 12, a lot of good feedback from it. I think a lot of people like it. But the main thing right now, guys, is getting to the weekend and getting in front of a TV screen to watch a little college football, man. Saturday, if you don't have anything else going on, if you need something to do, guess what, man? Come out with me. Let's go watch football. Let's go to Micasina in Asheville, man. Let's go to some, I don't know, somewhere, some sports bar. Let's go watch football. You want to come to my house and watch football? Talk about life? Let's do it, dude. That's just it, man. And I hope that my perspective on this sport brings you an energy that kind of distracts you from anything else going on in the world. So I appreciate you tuning in. A bunch happened last week. A bunch happened this weekend. A bunch will happen this weekend, guys. But for now, this has been the Hayden Coker Show, presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. I appreciate you for joining us. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. And once again, if you need a safe space, I'm right here for you. This has been the Hayden Coker Show, live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pell City, presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. Don't forget, Steel 174. Guys, I'll see y'all next week. I will see you again. And Jared, I'll text you on that one. I will see you guys next week. Okay? Be here, 7 o'clock. I'll be here. And I hope to see you guys here too. Y'all have a good one. Take care. God bless and be good.